What if the year you were born set you up for a lifetime of struggle? For millions, that's not just a story, it's reality. We're counting down the worst years in history to be born, starting with a year many of you remember, 2008. On the surface, 2008 looked normal, new tech, blockbuster movies, life as usual, but beneath it all, a hidden economic disaster was brewing, ready to upend an entire generation's future. If you were born in 2008, you might not remember the chaos, but it shaped your world in ways you're only now discovering. The stress, lost opportunities, and shrinking safety nets all began here. So buckle up, let's pull back the curtain on 2008 and see why it's the first year on our list. 2008. To understand its impact, you have to see the world right before the crash. Facebook was exploding, the iPhone 3G had just dropped, and movies like The Dark Knight ruled the box office. Everything felt new and full of promise. The economy seemed unstoppable. People were buying homes, getting loans, and investing like there was no tomorrow. But beneath the optimism, a massive problem was growing inside the global financial system. Imagine a party where the drinks, easy loans, are flowing, but no one realizes they're poisoned. Banks handed out risky home loans called subprime mortgages to people who couldn't afford them. These loans were bundled into safe investments and sold worldwide. It was like putting a certified fresh sticker on rotten eggs and selling them to everyone. Investors, pension funds, and even other countries bought in, believing it was safe. But the whole system was built on bad debt and false confidence. When house prices stopped rising, the cracks appeared. Suddenly people couldn't pay their mortgages or sell their homes. Defaults started small but quickly snowballed. Those safe investments became worthless overnight. Banks panicked as billions in toxic assets threatened to sink them. The global party was over, and the hangover was about to begin. The disaster wasn't a natural event, it was man-made, built by risky bets and greed. The generation born in 2008 would pay the price for decades, without ever having a say. The world's financial foundation was crumbling, and no one saw it coming. The impossible happened. Homeowners defaulted en masse. The financial system, built on lies, began to collapse. The trapdoor opened, and the world fell through. The party's music stopped, and reality hit hard. The optimism of early 2008 vanished in an instant. The world was about to face a crisis unlike anything seen in generations. The countdown to disaster had begun. For those born in 2008, this was the world they entered. The stage was set for a decade of struggle, and it all started with a party no one realized was about to end. Then came the moment the floor dropped out. Rumors swirled about failing banks, but no one believed giants like Lehman Brothers could collapse. In September 2008, the US government let Lehman fail, triggering the largest bankruptcy in American history. The shockwave was instant. If Lehman could fall, anyone could. Trust in the banking system evaporated overnight. Banks stopped lending, businesses couldn't get credit, and the economy froze. This wasn't just Wall Street's problem, it hit Main Street hard. The gears of the global economy ground to a halt. What started as bad loans in the US became a worldwide recession. Stock markets crashed, trillions in wealth vanished, and retirement savings evaporated. It was economic destruction on a scale not seen since the Great Depression. For a child born in 2008, this was the world they inherited: panic, fear, and collapse. Entire economies spiraled. Governments faced catastrophic losses, and the party was truly over. The hangover was global, and it was brutal. The collapse spread like a virus, infecting every corner of the world. The financial pandemic had begun. The world was changed forever, and for those born in 2008, this was just the beginning. The first brutal consequence: mass layoffs. Businesses couldn't get loans, customers stopped spending, and millions lost their jobs. In the US alone, 8.7 million jobs vanished. Entire cities left reeling. These weren't just numbers, they were families losing everything. Foreclosures skyrocketed. The American dream turned into a nightmare. More layoffs meant less spending, more business failures, and even more layoffs. A vicious cycle. The sense of security people relied on was shattered. The psychological toll was immense. Fear and uncertainty became the new normal. This wasn't just an American crisis. Countries like Iceland, Greece, and Ireland were devastated. Iceland's banking system collapsed overnight. Greece and Ireland faced massive debt crises. To survive, these countries accepted harsh bailout loans, at the cost of brutal austerity. Government jobs were slashed, pensions cut, and public services gutted. For a decade, people faced unemployment, poverty, and hopelessness. Protests and riots erupted as entire societies struggled to cope. The dream of a united, prosperous Europe nearly fell apart. All this chaos was the backdrop for a child born in 2008. Their world was defined by instability and broken promises. The safety nets meant to protect them were torn away. The future looked uncertain for an entire generation, and the scars would last for years to come. So what did all this mean for a child born in 2008? You grew up surrounded by financial anxiety. Even if your family wasn't directly hit, the fear was everywhere. Schools had fewer resources, class sizes grew, and public services were slashed. The social safety net was shredded, college became more expensive, and the job market tougher than ever. The promise of a better life felt out of reach. Mental health struggles soared as economic instability became the norm. You inherited a broken world, and the pressure to fix it. Let's make it real with a story. Meet Emma, born in 2008. Her family seemed stable, nice house, good job, happy memories. But when the recession hit, her dad lost his job in construction. They sold their house, moved to a small apartment, and struggled to get by. Emma's mom worked part-time jobs, and Emma spent more time in daycare. When Emma got sick, they couldn't afford a doctor's visit. Healthcare was now a luxury. Fast forward, Emma's a teenager, working after school to help pay bills. College feels out of reach, and her parents' hard work hasn't paid off. Emma's story is shared by millions born in 2008. They're the first generation expected to be less prosperous than their parents. The Great Recession shaped their lives before they could even remember. Being born in 2008 meant starting life with a disadvantage you didn't create. The scars of that year will last a lifetime. It set the stage for a more unequal, unstable, and anxious world. But this is just the beginning of our countdown. The years ahead are filled with plagues, wars, and disasters that make 2008 look easy. We're only at number 100. The journey into history's worst years is just getting started. If you think 2008 was bad, wait until you see what's next. Stay tuned. That's why 2008 kicks off our list of the unluckiest years to be born. It wasn't the deadliest, but it broke the system and pushed a generation onto a harder path. The aftershocks are still shaping our world today. If you were born in 2008, you've been playing life on hard mode from the start. The Born Unlucky countdown is just getting started. 99 more years to go. Next up, the tech bubble of 2000, a different kind of crash with its own fallout. Subscribe, share, and let us know if you felt the impact of 2008. See you in the next one.